The patch notes for the Celestial Throne update have finally been released, and I'm gonna break them down for you. And here's how we'll break it down so you can focus on the part you're most interested in. We'll start with dungeon information, move into the new features, then the balance changes, then the bug and exploit fixes, and last, the quality of life changes. So, let's get into it. The star of the show are the 6 instance dungeons and raids entering Zenith VR. The dungeons will be 4-player experiences, while the raids will let you have 8 in your party. The dungeons will have 3 ranks of difficulty, while the raids will have 2. And it looks like these difficulties will require your gear at a certain level as well. 3 extra overworld dungeons have appeared as well. These seem to be more like the dungeon in the Fractured Plains, being something you can walk in and out of whenever you want. And if you're worrying about the party size or don't have anyone to queue with, don't worry, Zenith has added matchmaking. It works similar to any other competitive game where you queue up for a specific dungeon or raid, and you'll be placed in a party with other members who have queued for the same dungeon or raid as you. Zenith also has seemed to answer the question, what if a specific dungeon never has anyone queued for it? Enter Roulette. Roulette lets you gain extra rewards for playing random dungeons or raids. This is a great feature for filling up parties and matchmaking quickly. These dungeons will also have daily and weekly rewards. Every day or week, completing a dungeon will give you bonus rewards. These will be once a day or once a week, and will include crucial extra rewards in your quest to gear up and get the most powerful sets in Zenith. These will not interfere with the standard loot given after a dungeon, these will be extra. I do plan to make a lot of content on these dungeons, showing them off and giving guides and tips, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss those. Now let's move into the new features. 20 entire new quests will be added to Zenith. New quests are always welcome. A new NPC, the Surveyor, was added to give some of these quests. They'll be located at the bottom of the Celestial Throne, a giant floating tower that has appeared above the Obsidian Fortress, and they'll race you to the top with new quests. I do hope that some quests are added into the middle of the game as it would help people grinding their levels up. Similar to the dungeons, new daily and weekly quests make their way into Zenith. As of now, we only have a very small number of daily quests, and their rewards aren't super impressive. These quests will likely have special loot that you can only get once a day or week. We finally have new armor and weapon sets. These seem to be new endgame sets, giving a new end goal for many returning players. The weapons seem to be given through a questline, while the armor doesn't have any information in these patch notes. So I assume it'll either be crafted or gained through dungeon rewards. Also, the long-awaited headgear enters Zenith, and it's not just a cosmetic, but an actual 5th piece of armor. On track with armor and weapons, they will show a new item level, or eye level for short. This level will contribute to their effectiveness, and the way to increase your item level is to use the infusion option that will be an option included at the enhancement stations. Endgame currency is here. The currency will be acquired from dungeons and raids. The currencies added are the Mark of Thadris, not sure if I pronounced that right, the Mark of Ancients, and Fractured and Celestial Armor pieces. And there are also some new AI and combat mechanics, and I'll show them here so you can read and watch out for these effects in the new update. Last but not least, a new collectible counter, so you don't have to keep checking deep in your inventory to find out how many Amara's tears you have. Hopefully we'll have a lot of information on this counter. I truly hope quest items like skulls and cogs are included. I need a reason to not have 20 quests on my screen. Those were the new introductions, let's move into the balance changes. In this shuffle of balance changes, only the Essence Mage DPS and tank got some love with some general changes too. The general changes are changed level scaling so that enemies can be 7 levels above you before the hard cap takes place, increased experience gain from repeatable quests by 20%, and reduced healing aggro generated by 20% and increased tank aggro by 28%. For the Essence Mage tank, we have reduced Essence Mage tank calling beam max damage and reduced the ammo refill rate from 6.6 seconds to 8 seconds, decreased spirit burn damage by 26%, and antimatter shell now correctly fades after 5 seconds. And lastly, Essence Mage DPS, added 2.5% stagger damage to fully charged Essence Mage DPS searing shots, and Lightning Strike now grants 20% AP shields for 5 seconds. Because the patch notes have these in brackets, I assume it means they scale up when you upgrade your Lightning Strike. Now, let's go into the bug and exploit fixes. The bug and exploit fixing team have patched out speed flying from the game. Now, I assume this is what I call super gliding, which is where you force yourself in and out of gliding repeatedly to gain extreme amounts of momentum in the air. However, they didn't keep gliding untouched, as standard gliding now is a 25% better maximum velocity and a 20% less stamina drain. A little compensation for that. Now for the rest of the quick resolved issues for this patch, I'll just put them up right here so you can read them and see if any of them pertain to you. Finally, for the patch notes, some minor yet important quality of life changes. Lefties rejoice! Any UI menus with pointers and abilities that require a single hand can now be used with either hand. To switch hands when using a menu, click on the other hand and the pointer will transfer to that hand. similar to how the Oculus desktop works, where you just click with your left hand and the pointer will transfer over. In the Guilds menu, only relevant buttons will be visible. The example they give is that Create will be hidden when the guild is already created. Creating guilds now is a cancel button, so you can change your mind. Guild creation now waits for the result and only switches back to the guild list when the guild creation was successful. When guild creation fails, you'll get a message on why it failed. Smooth turn now is a sensitivity slider. The in-game referral page has been moved to the sign-up screen. When you first create a Zenith account, you'll have the opportunity to enter a refer as part of the process. The refer will no longer be entered while you are in-game. Improved animations and sound effects for multiple NPCs. New synth stations added to the Nexus district for endgame gear. Updated artwork for Mark of Sidion. And new music for dungeons, raids, and new zones. And there it is, that's all you need to know about the Zenith patch. Celestial Throne update. It's jam-packed with content that'll add tons of hours to your playthrough. I truly admire Ramen VR for giving Zenith the life it needed. Patience is all you need for Zenith, because in due time it'll become one of the most influential VR games of all time.